Hello guys, my name is Balkrishna Srivastava and welcome to CodeWithBK. So in this video, we solve the problem to delete the last node of the linked list, and this will be handy for your ISC 2023 Computer Science Theory Paper preparation. So before we begin, it is a request to please subscribe to my channel because your subscription is going to help me grow on YouTube. So we have to delete the last node of a linked list. So let me take a sample linked list. So if I say 10, 5, 8, 6, 2 and null. Okay. So the next of the last node is going to be null. This is standard in linked list and this is what defines the end of the linked list. This is what defines the last node. Okay. And then you have a start pointer. Okay. That points to the first node in the linked list. So I can call it start pointer or head or any other variable, but head is the most commonly used term. Okay. Okay, so the start variable stores a reference to the first node in the linked list and the next of the last node is null. So this start pointer is what we are given in this function and we have to delete the last node that is within this list. Okay, so what do I mean by deleting the last node? So this is the last node. Okay, the next of this is null. So I want to delete this, that is I want to disconnect it. Okay, so then the next of this second last node becomes null. So the list which was 10, 5, 8, 6, 2 null becomes now 10, 5, 8, 6, and now since 6 is the last node, the next of 6 is going to be null. So the list which was 10, 5, 8, 6, 2 null now becomes 10, 5, 8, 6 null, and second last node of the current list becomes the last node of the new updated list. Okay, start pointer remains at head. So before we move on to actually removing the last node, I'll handle the border cases first. Okay, so my first border case is empty list. Okay, that is my start PTR is basically null. Okay, it is not pointing to any node. In that case, I cannot delete anything because this list is empty. So in that case, what do? I simply return from the function. Okay, there is nothing I have to process in this function. So the case A is list is empty. Okay, so you do if start PTR double equal to null. Okay, you do return because I do not have to process anything in this list because this list is empty, and I return, and return does not have a value because the return type is void. Okay, this is my first border case, pretty simple. My second border case is list with one node only. Okay, that is start pointer is holding reference to a node object which has say 10. Okay, and the next of this is null. Okay, and by property of linked list we know the next of the last node is null. So this is the only node, this is the last node, and this is what needs to be deleted. Okay, so if this only node is deleted, the list goes empty. It means start pointer becomes null. So if I have only one node in the linked list, so I set start pointer to null. Okay, and I lose this object. Okay, so how do I check if this is the last node? Again, if start pointer's next is null, it means this is the only node in the linked list. Okay, so second case is list has only one node. So if start PTR dot next is null, okay, that it is the first node, we do start PTR is null. Okay, we make the list empty and then we return. Okay, so these are the two border cases I handle. So now we handle this case where the list is not empty and has basically more than one node. Okay, all right, so I have two, I'll remove this. Okay, I'll reconnect this. Okay, so this is the given list and I have to reach to this state. Okay, so suppose if I call this previous, so I want a node type variable previous pointing to this second last node, so that I can do previous dot next is null and this gets disconnected. That is what I want. Okay, so how do I reach to previous? To reach previous, I have to reach this last node which is current. I call this current. So if I'm able to reach current, I will get my previous. I'll tell you how. So I suppose I start with my current at my first node, which is start pointer. So basically you do node current is start pointer in the code, okay? And I want this current to be reaching at the last node, okay? What is the property of the last node? The next of the last node is null, okay? So when currents next becomes null, when this is true, then I am at the last node, okay? So I traverse this list as long as this condition is not true. So you can say not of the entire thing, or you can remove this not, or you simply can say not equal to null. Okay. So my first job is to make current move at the last node. So for that, I set current to start pointer first, and this is the C case. Num nodes are greater than 1. Node current is equals to start PTR. Okay, and I say while current dot next is not equal to null, to reach to the last node, not equal to null, okay, I do current is current dot next. Okay, so let me try run this. When you are here, current is set to this node, okay, you say current dot next is not equal to null, current dot next is this node, this is not null, which is true, so you do current is current dot next. Now current points to current's next, which is this, okay. You go back to check for while loop condition, current dot next is not equal to null, current dot next is this, not null, you do current is current dot next, so current now points to this. Again you check the while loop condition, current dot next is not null, current dot next is this, not null, true, you do current is current dot next. Again you check for while loop condition, current dot next is not null, true, you do current is current dot next, okay. Current dot next is now null, okay. So when you come here, okay, now the loop breaks because current's next is null. So current is at last node, okay, and this is current, this is the node that I want to get rid of, okay. So I have reached to my current, okay. How do I get my previous? I will say I'll take another variable of type node and set it to null, okay. So I take node previous to null, okay, and my previous, since my previous is just one node behind, is at the node right behind current, I want previous to be always behind current. What do I mean to say is I want previous to be pointing to the node right behind the node current all the time, okay. So when node current is pointing to this start pointer, I don't have any previous, so previous is null, okay. When current moves here, this should be previous. 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 So basically, before I move current forward, I do previous is current, okay. So what is happening is now, so now what is happening, I have current at start pointer, previous is null, I am here, okay, these two statements. Then I start my while loop, current dot next is not null, true, current dot next is not null, okay. So the first line is previous is current, so current is pointing here, previous now points here, okay, and then you do current is current dot next, so current goes here. You go out to check for the while loop condition, current dot next is not null, current dot next is not null, true, you do previous is current, so previous now points here, okay, and then you do current is current dot next, so current points here. You check for this condition again, current dot next is not null, current dot next is this, not null, you do previous is current, previous points to current where current is pointing, current is current dot next, you move here, current goes here, current dot next is not null, current's next is this, not null, true, you do previous is current, previous now points to where current is pointing, which is this, okay, and then you do current is current dot next, current comes here, current dot next is not equal to null is false because we are at the last node, the loop breaks, okay. So here previous is at second last node, okay, and then finally we disconnect this link, that is we say previous next is null, so this node object is lost, and this becomes, this 6 becomes the second last node, becomes the last node, so we say previous dot next is null, and that is how you delete the last nodes. So this link is lost and this is set to null, and so we get this, okay. So if you get a question where you have to delete the last node, this is the code you need to write, okay, taking care of empty list, taking care of list with only one node, and then deleting the case where deleting for the case where you have number of nodes greater than 1. So now what I'm going to tell you further is not going to be very important for exam, because that is the worst case scenario and they won't be giving a question like that. So what do I mean to say is, the return type should be node. Okay, so you should be returning start pointer everywhere, return start pointer, and finally return start pointer. But this won't be happening, because in the previous year's question papers, whenever I have solved question on linked list, the return type is always void. In case it is node, all you have to do, return start pointer, and finally return start pointer instead of just return. Okay, so you can add a return here. Okay, this is not wrong. Okay, this code is not wrong. Just to remember that you add return start pointer if the return type changes to node. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful. So please do subscribe to my channel, because your support is very important and I'll be uploading more such videos. And please let me know in the comments if there was anything not clear to you in this video, if there is a question you want to solve, if there is a concept you want me to discuss. Thank you.